Express, here we go again. We have with us today Erika Ayers Badan. I love her name. She is the former CEO of Barstool, and she has done some phenomenal things that we want to share with you today. We're going to take you on her journey, what it is that she is talented at, what she's good at reinventing, and new platforms that she's amplifying with her voice. I don't think you're going to want to miss this. It's all about empowering and using relatable stories that I think you could benefit from. So we're going to focus on how she transformed Barstool Sports, how the reinvention of, she's reinventing Food 52. So she's the current CEO of Food 52. And her new book, which I love the title, Nobody Cares About Your Career. I absolutely love that. So stay with us. I think you're going to enjoy yourself. Take notes. There's some great kernels of wisdom and some wonderful tips that you're going to get into from experiencing Erika Ayers Badan. And Nia's going to tell you a little bit about who we are and how you can continue to be involved with our experience and how we're transforming lives through Women Express.
Great. Yes. So excited for this episode. But if you want to hear more from us on a regular basis, here are the ways. First, be sure you're following us on Instagram, very important, and share with your friends at women_express_. Major call out on our Women Express page there is go to our bio and click on the Linktree link. Through that, you can find this video, this podcast episode on our YouTube, and our homepage for the podcast will be under that link. Another thing is, if you have questions, want to know more, want to just give us a quick shout out or share, there is a link there that says Let's Express. That is your way of asking us or sharing anything that's on your mind. In addition, we ask that whatever platform you listen to this on, give us 5 stars and share a little bit in the review about what you like. Even if it's something you don't like, we can take the feedback. We can handle it. Just give us a review. We really appreciate that, as well as download, subscribe, share. All of those things really helps our podcast to thrive.
And we're thriving.
Also, we want to let you know about some things upcoming. Keep up with us monthly through our Sips and Tips series. Every month, we're going to come on live and chat with you all about a topic that involves women's leadership. This is how we're growing our community and gives your voice a platform on our platform. So make sure you keep an eye out for those and join us. Another thing that we have upcoming is our We Lead series. This is our Women Express Women's Leadership Experience. That is key. So this is your chance to really get some true coaching and leadership tips from Denise Harrington, who has been doing women's leadership courses for over 25 years. So keep an eye out for our We Lead series. Again, if you want to find all of this information, go to our Instagram. Through that, you'll find our link tree in the bio that has all of our info listed there so you don't miss a beat. Thanks for joining us on Women Express. Now let's dive into the episode.
The podcast Women Express is all about giving women space to own their power, voice-wise, stand-up-wise, at the table-wise, whatever the wise is, get into it and do it. And what struck me right away was looking at how you transformed in a male-dominated industry. I know that one really well from working with Nike for so long and in the sports industry for so long, how that feels. But leading this company, Barstool, doubling its revenue from 15 million to 30 million your first year as CEO. I mean, that's badass stuff right there. And, you know, the strategy behind it, getting out of it, and now they're a $550 million company. And that was from your leadership. This is the power that women have. So I immediately looked at that and said, we have to start there because this is the power we have. So tell me, how'd you do it?
Oh, well, thank you for having me. I like badass women, so this is great. When I got to Barstool, I knew I wanted the chance to build something and to be something. I knew most people doubted me or thought I was making the wrong decision. I liked that because it gave me no excuses and no choice but to make something of it. And I think one of the things that's a little bit difficult for women right now, and people in general, but especially women, is that we tend to hedge. Everyone's always hedging. They don't want to commit to something all in. And I think the best thing I did with Barstool Sports is I went all in, all the way, like all the way to the mattresses. Like there was no air between me and what I was trying to do there. And I gave myself to it. I gave myself to them. And I really sought to learn. I tend to believe that at work and in a home that all the answers are in the building. It's just a matter of listening to them and letting them out. And I think that's actually also a skill that women have in spades that they don't necessarily use enough to their advantage. Is the answers are always in the room. It's the person who can put the answers on the table and have people eat. Those are the people that can be most successful. So Barstool, we just failed our way to success. We tried everything. We struggled, we suffered, we succeeded, and we ended up with a company that when I got there was doing, I don't know, $4.5 million in revenue. And when I left was doing $350 million in revenue. And all those learnings, all those failures, all that effort, all that commitment built upon itself and created something that's pretty irreplicable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's incredible that you did that, such leverage. But I love the concept of we failed our way to success. Because I think that whole failure piece is why women tend to hedge, right? Don't you?
Definitely. I think that I write about this in my book, which is that I had a woman who worked for me who was wildly talented, just wildly, wildly talented, probably late 30s. And I kept trying to give her more. I kept trying to say, she worked in marketing. I kept being like, well, what about if you tried this? Or what about if you added that? Or why don't you take on this? And she would never do it. She just couldn't do it. Didn't want to do it. Didn't want to do it. And the reason was she was afraid not to be, she was so perfect at the marketing that she was afraid to take on anything else that she might not be perfect at. And after a while, I was like, I got to give up on you because you're great in this box, but I got to go beyond the box. I want to move out of the box. And I need people who want to go on that ride with me. And I think that people overestimate how much other people care about them insofar as, and that's why I called the book Nobody Cares About Your Career, is that it's okay to fail because you know what? Everybody else is failing out there anyways. And alongside of you, we're human, everybody fails. That's like the one commonality. And I think that people hold themselves back because of what other people might say. And the greatest gift you can give yourself is hey, I left it all on the table.
I
And,
love it.
I maybe made a great decision, or I maybe made a terrible decision, or God, that was stupid. Why did I do that? I say that 100 times a day, but I leave my days very happy because I'm entertaining myself, I'm teaching myself, and I'm pushing myself.
And those are probably, I would think, the big piece to success is enjoying yourself, taking risks, jumping out there, splash in the water. Either you're going to swim or you're going to sink. I love the concept because that brings about a certain level of freedom. And I think the freedom that we're looking for as women is going to come from that.
100%. I think the more women can be who they are, and not even as women, just as people. One thing I always felt at Barstool was I always put my gender out there. Like it was very obvious I was a woman. I would wear skirts. I would put makeup on. Everyone else is in like dirty gym shorts. And then I would take it away and I was only about the work. And I think a lot of times people get caught up in all the trappings, you're white or you're black or you're a female or you're a male or you're a they, and it's all about the thing. And I'm like, who cares about the thing? Just like show up as you are, ask for respect for how you show up, and then get busy. And I wish people would get busier.
This is what I love about your book. And I think you bring it up in so many different ways about being your authentic self. There's two things. I love how your book, I feel like it has a reach to every level of a person in their career or just trying to achieve their personal goals. I think a lot of times as women, we don't reach down to pull people up. I think your book really crosses all those levels of who you could be in your career. But the biggest through line that I saw is nothing else matters as long as you're sticking to who you are, be authentic, be as big and bold about who you are, but making sure that you stick to your morals, your boundaries, those kind of things. So I think that's something that women have struggled. Like, how do I be authentic while maintaining my boundaries?
Yeah, it's tough. I struggle with it. Like this is probably the first year in the last 2 years have I become a much better boundary person. And I still suck at boundaries, being totally honest. But I do think if you don't feel whole with who you are, it's hard to genuinely help people. I like to be in service of other people. I'm motivated by what I could create for other people. But I also feel very whole in who I am when I show up in it, and I wish people would be more confident and whole with who they are. You know, there's people smarter than you, better than you, prettier than you, richer than you, more talented than you, stronger than you. And the greatest thing is to put yourself in the context of those people and just learn a little bit and give them what you know. And I think the more we could show up whole and the more we could show up to help one another that's what it's all about.
Yeah. So you're saying kind of like taking that first step. If I was somebody who like, I'm really passionate about something, I'm not sure if I should take that leap. You're kind of saying maybe that first step is pretending you're the person or kind of stepping into the role.
People over intellectualize like, oh, the conditions have to be just right to do blank. And it's like the conditions are never going to be right. So, and if you have that mindset, there's always going to be something you're not quite ready. I launched a Substack this week.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about Substack. The only reason I got on Substack is
thank you. Like you said that to me when we came in today. You know, these are millennials and Gen X types, and so I walk in and she just launched a Substack, and I was like, what is that?
Totally. What is that? It's exactly right. It's like the new Instagram, but I don't know a whole lot about it. I'm not an expert at it. I only tried it because we were trying it as a company. And I was like, hey, if I'm going to put my money where my mouth is, if I'm expecting our company to do this, I should be willing to do it. And I don't think I was quite ready. I didn't have it all figured out. I hadn't thought through every problem it would create, but I just tried it. And I would like to see, I think it's, being a badass is just trying things and learning as you go. I think life is kind of an apprenticeship that way.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit. I mean, you just launched this yesterday, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So
yes.
Just in context for everybody. So how is it going day 2? Tell us about yourself.
I don't know.
How is it going?
I don't know. I just found out about this. I don't know.
I like it. I have 12 paid subscribers. That's probably bad. I don't know. Maybe it's
over 10. We'll take it.
I was like, great. I have 1. You know, I'd be happy with 1. Writing the book made me realize that I like to write. I have a super long commute, and I was forever in my career spending my commuting time activating, like creating more work. And so if you looked, like if I had a Whoop for my work, the spike in activity when I get on the train to when I get off the train, and then I get on the train and get off the train again, would be terrible. And I'm realizing about myself that it's not a good way to engage with or manage other people because it's like, so I was like, screw it. I'll just write a Substack while I'm on the train. And I started, I don't know, a couple weeks ago. And it's comforting to put your thoughts down in a place where you feel like you can be somewhat free with them. Maybe I'll end up regretting that. I don't know. But I think it's part of trying things. And I think life is for trying things.
Isn't life for trying
It
things,
is.
isn't it?
We
It's
got
just
one
for
of them.
trying things.
Gotta keep trying.
I love the way you say that because it really is about trying things. And I love the concept. If we were going to make a formula, it's try, fail, try again, succeed, try again,
Totally.
don't know, try again, right? Don't know what I'm doing, try again. Right?
And men are so good at this. Like that's the other, like I was reading something on Instagram the other day where the British guy or whatever who created Dyson, the vacuum, he had like literally 9,000 Dysons before the Dyson that worked. And then he created an empire for it. And he wasn't like, oh, I suck after, his 5,000 Dyson vacuum didn't work. He was like, I got to tinker with this thing and do it again. And I think that's what, if women could have that persistence, it would be amazing. And they do have it.
Yeah, we do in so many ways and aspects of our life. I think that's one of the main things we talk about at Women Express is finding those skill sets that are key to women, just in our nature, that we do every single day. How can we transfer those skills to our leadership skills and really amplify them? Like, it's okay that we're nurturing. It's okay that we are persistent. We can be so thoughtful, so obsessive with things in our personal life, but then when we come to work, it's like we throw those things out the window.
Yeah. I agree with that. I think one of the greatest skills women have, and only women have this, is the ability to notice things. I think women are so highly observant. I think it's in part, at least American women, how you're cultured. Like your mother kind of teaches you to like pick up this or notice that. Or if you have children, you're like, you're putting something in your mouth that's, bad. Like women notice things, and women have an incredible ability to take those hyper senses and bring them to work in a way that I think it's partly why women are accused of being like shrill and negative and like naggy is like,
because we see stuff.
Because you see stuff that needs to be fixed.
Don't you see it? Stop doing that.
And we're thinking like 10 steps ahead of how that's going to affect.
Yeah. So harnessing that, I think, is a great thing for women.
Yeah. I think that when we started out talking about Barstool, and I don't want to spend a lot of time on it, but I think that there's a lot of what you're talking about that was going on there. One, not taking it so seriously, number one, like I have to be perfect. And then number two, just jumping in with your superpower, being, I see some things. Let's move some things around and make this thing work.
Yeah, totally.
Let's drop the kids off at playground, put them in the same sandbox and see how we can make it work.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. So Substack is something that you're playing with now, but let's back up a bit and talk about Food 52 just a bit, because we want to touch on all the stuff that makes you, Erika, who you are. Yes. Which I have to tell the listeners, the first time I met Erika, we were just all over the place, just having so much fun. We didn't even know each other, but it was like we already knew each other, and we jumped in and just started having fun.
That's right.
Yes.
And I think that
I like that about you too.
It's just, I think that that's where success comes from. It's just taking that leap of faith and just having fun and see what comes out of it. I've taken some notes around you too, and then we'll get back to Food 52. But create a product or a concept and then create the empire for it. I love that. Then create an empire for it. Yeah. Okay, we're having fun. Let's create an empire for it.
The thing I really... Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Go.
No. I'm good.
Before we transition, but I want how I want to transition to Food 52 is with Barstool, you saw something, you're like, wow, I really want to be a part of that. Like, I see me in this, and I know it's going to be a challenge for me. Did you have a similar feeling about Food 52, or how did you end up there? What was the why behind it, or what was that connection that happened?
I didn't see myself in Food 52 the way I saw myself in Barstool. Like when I took the Barstool job, I pursued that job. I wanted that job. Because I knew like somewhere deep, I felt it. I like had a feeling this is my job. I didn't have the this is my job feeling with Food 52, which is, I think, a good thing. I think one is lightning doesn't strike you twice. And I also, Barstool was like the career love of my life. And, I'm so good with that. Yeah. What I did see for Food 52 was that it was a new consumer, which was a female consumer that I liked. I spent a decade marketing to 18 to 34-year-old men. Like I can sell an alcohol or a sexy girl like nobody's business. And I'm like, I'm good with that. And I wanted a different consumer. I wanted a company that wasn't too big, but also wasn't three people in a basement. So I wanted something on a journey, and I like this space. I like this journey. I like to build. I like problems. I like a company that it can feel really good to fix and do things, because there's so much stupid stuff that has to be done that it's like intellectually you get it. It's like when you eat a meal and there's like the fatty, too sweet for you, bad for you stuff that's just like popcorn. And then there's big, meaty, important things. And I felt Food 52 had those two things. Mm. And I also feel that, and I write about this in the book, I took the job as I was writing the last section of the book, which is, do I stay or do I go? And I was having this moment at Barstool where I had done everything humanly imaginable that I wanted to do there. I could have stayed there.
Clearly.
I did. And I could have stayed there forever, but I felt like to stay would be disingenuous to what I did. Like to stay too long would be tragic. Mm. And this was here and, was at the right time and felt like the right place. And I'm feeling my way through it.
Yeah. Well, you are so right about the consumer, because of course, as we're researching the company, we're like, oh my God, we love this. This is everything.
Yes, this is for us.
The little mug journey that you guys did.
Was so great.
That was so great. We're just having so much fun learning about it as we learn about you. But so far in this journey, I mean, some of it is that uncertainty. It sounds like you liked to build, but what would you give to somebody that's taking on a new project that might be a little bit scared, that doesn't have that drive to build? What kind of advice would you give to someone in that space?
I think if you don't have the confidence to go build something external, right? You need to work on having the confidence to build something inside of you. And it doesn't matter if you don't manage a single person and you're not an authority on anything. Every person can have a vision for what they can accomplish in their job. And that may be learning something, that may be mastering something, that may be building a skill, that may be developing networking, creating a network. It may be learning how to present in a public forum. I don't know, 1,000 things. And I think the vision's really important, because I think everyone should have a vision for themselves in their job. And I think people tend to think about like me, there's my job, there's my life, there's my friends, there's my family, there's my social media. I think it's all related. So it's like, who are you, and how can you use all these things to become a more evolved version of you, to help you on your journey? And I think even if you're not even if you don't know what you're doing, I don't know what I'm doing. Most people don't know what they're doing.
Like, what day is it? Who
Yeah,
am I?
exactly. You
Yeah.
do know inside what you want for yourself. And I think that's really important, is to keep working on things that you think you need to get better at.
Hmm. Including yourself,
Mostly yourself.
including yourself. It's interesting because I love this whole idea of a more evolved version of you, which means there's always there's a constant in life,
Definitely.
in your life, in our lives. There's a constant that is there, and there's that little voice inside of you, which sometimes women have to be careful about that little voice. Because
Yeah.
that little voice inside will tell you no, because everything around us as women is telling us, no, we can't do it. You can't do it. I can remember first few times I had started working with major athletes out at Nike and talk about them, they, black, white. I'm like, it's obvious I'm black. I mean, we don't have to, that's obvious. Hello, I showed up as black. But I'm not
Still
here.
black.
Yeah, I'm black, just in case. Let me check. Let me check myself.
Black.
I'm black. And it was like, it's for a lot of people that was an important thing, and for Nike at that time it was an important feature.
Yeah.
I be black, because that is and
That's
still
important.
is that's their community. But the bottom line is that yes, I'm black, yes, I'm a woman. However, I'm bringing the power of some wisdom, some understanding, something that's going to change your company. And
Yeah.
I can remember just before Phil Knight, and I love this story, and it always makes me emotional. Just before he retired, I ran into him. I was looking for him, but it was easy in those days
I
to find
ran
Phil.
into him.
Phil Knight being the owner of Nike, I ran
Yeah.
into him, and he said, well, who are your victims today? Because I always was working them. I mean,
Yeah.
I worked those people at Nike, and they'll tell you I worked them. And then he said, you know what? Thank you for everything you've done and everything you do for Nike, and gave me a big hug. And that's why I can relate to what you did, not to make Barstool a big piece, because I'm sure you're doing the same thing because of who you are at Food 52 and everything else you put your signature in. The bottom line is that when you bring that wisdom that is transformative, I just plowed through that company, and we still work with Nike, but in those primary days, it was just like I was there
It's a
getting the
lot to
job
do.
get the job done, right? And I sense that from you. It's like, okay, we're here. Let's get the job done. Let's make a transformation happen so that the goodness of what this company is trying to do is felt, is
Yeah.
fed, is final in the way that we do it. I mean, don't you think?
Yeah, I agree with that. I like to work, and I'm here to get a job done. I'm not the like, hey, how was your weekend? Not that I'm not caring. I do care. I'm like, hey, how are you? What's going on? Are you good? Blah blah blah. Let's get to work. Like, I think women uniquely are pressured on time, because we're working multiple jobs and we're caring for different things, and the expectation of how you should look and behave and da da da, like, it's a lot.
Yeah.
And I like to get stuff done, and I really like other people who care to get things done. And I think if you go into anything with that kind of energy, like, anything can happen. Like, my husband calls it the zoomies. I'll wake up on Sunday morning and I'm like, I ain't playing. Like, I'm cleaning the kitchen or whatever it is. Like, I'm all in, or I'm like, I'm out. So I just
Yeah.
think having all in energy on whatever you're setting your mind to, if it's your relationship, it's your body, it's your friendships, it's your work, it's your finances, like,
They're all one.
just go.
Just
Yeah.
go.
I find that sometimes personally I get frustrated with myself because I feel like I get hyper fixated in one area, and I'm like, why am I not applying this same energy over here? It's hard to juggle all
Yeah.
of those balls at the same time.
It's also, I think, hard because women feel like you're supposed to be great at everything all at once. Like, the Barbie movie came out, last summer? I
Yeah.
was writing the book in the middle of the Barbie movie, and I was like sobbing watching the Barbie movie and like the monologue. And then I was like, you know what? Like, I feel like shit because I don't look the way I want to in a bikini. And I'm like, I'm working 70 hours a week. I'm raising a family. I've got all this other shit to do. Why do I care what I look like in a bikini? But I still care. And
Yeah.
that's what's hard, is that you feel short. You feel you're perpetually falling short on something always.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we are, and it's okay
And it's
to
okay.
fall short.
100%.
It's okay. Something that has been driving me this week has been a note that I heard by a major influencer, and she said, "Stop focusing on the broken pieces of yourself.
Yeah.
Let's focus on what's working really well and step into that energy. Just live as that person, and all the broken pieces will heal themselves."
Yeah.
So I keep pushing that. I'm like, okay, I have to stop looking over here. Just
Yeah.
look at what's really working and keep pushing there.
Yeah, it's really easy to get caught in the rear view. I
Yeah.
find like when I make a mistake or I come up short, I tend to like berate myself constantly for it. And it's easy just to get caught in that washing machine, and you've got to, I think that's great advice, which is let it, it's frozen. Like let it go, let it go.
Yeah,
And it's easier said than done, but that's also why I think it's so great to be busy, because when you're busy, you have less time to focus on that stuff.
Except when your brain wakes you up at 3 a.m. and you sit there and turn until 5. Now,
Yes.
someone said it's a good time. Sometimes I'm happy that I'm up at that time, and then there's times where I'm not happy that I'm up between 3 and 5. I would rather be asleep, especially if I'm running over the same thought. It's like, wait a minute, I thought that like 20 minutes ago. Why am I thinking that again?
Yes, it's annoying.
It is annoying, and I want to pick at you about something, since we're talking about annoying things.
Oh, okay.
This is not really annoying. I'm just kind of playing with it.
I don't care.
But nobody cares about your career.
Yes.
What a title. Nobody cares about your career. Seriously, lady? Tell me about that.
I love that title. I didn't have a title for the book. I had this dumb title that was called "You Can Be Yourself and Be Successful," which was really stupid. Nobody would buy a book called that. But Nobody Cares About Your Career was a chapter. And we went through the chapters, and similar to like the answers are in the building, I was like, the answers have got to be in the book. Mm-hmm. And the reason Nobody Cares About Your Career is something I have always said to myself. Because in those moments where I wanted to make a change, or I wanted to try something, or I wanted to leave a job, and I was like, the first thing I always said is, but what would everybody think? What would they think? I would always say, nobody cares about your career. And I also think it's really important. It was important for me when I had young kids and also in general, that I wanted to have my life friendships outside of work where nobody cared what I did all day. And that I could have two really different worlds that were important and nurturing, and where I could grow and express myself, blah, 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 learn, but that were mutually exclusive. Mm-hmm. And so the title of the book, I think, is important because one is it's on you to help you. That's a big piece of it, which is, I think a lot of times what's happening now at work is everyone is expecting somebody else to come do it for them or help them or save them, or there's this overwhelming perception that everything wrong with you just means there's somebody better than you to do the job. And I think that's bullshit. I think you have all the answers you need, and you can harness what's great about you, and you can find ways to complement when you're weak. And then the second piece is your career, like your life, is just for you. And if you're living a career, or you're going through a job, or you're going through the motions because you think it's going to make somebody else happy, it's just, that's a defeating way to live.
Yeah. I think it's so true that our world right now, with the way things are for women, just staying status quo just cannot work anymore.
No. I think you said it at the beginning, which is like our rights are on the line. Like we're losing rights.
Right.
Women are headed into a more depleted place than we have been. And when you look at you two, like your generation, what you had and what your generation is going to have, maybe really different. That's scary. And women being visible is really important. Women being advocates is really important. Women embracing men is really important. Like all the things.
Yeah. Let's talk about that for a little bit, because we talked so much with Women Express about advocating the power of your voice, how to do that. And I know in your book you talk about those things too, how to strategically communicate yourself. It is so hard, I think, because of how society have taught us as women how to be. Sometimes it's so hard to feel like, okay, I'm actually advocating for myself. I'm not bragging.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually speaking up against what's wrong. I'm not nagging.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we have to, men don't second think
Mm-hmm.
when they are advocating for themselves or saying they don't like something or just saying whatever is on their mind. So we have to just do these things unapologetically. And I feel like even if, as women, we have the skill sets to fix things if it goes wrong. If we fuck it up, if we say the wrong thing, kind of like the book, nobody cares. It can be solved. Once it happens and it comes out, we fuck it up, who cares? We can go back and fix things.
We can fix it. Well, women are good fixers.
Yeah.
They're good fixers. You know, there's something that Nia just said, and I don't mean to cut you off, Erika, but I know you don't care. The reason, it doesn't say that men aren't scared out of their shorts for things, because they are. And you worked in a male-oriented environment, and I'm sure they just know how to, you know, flex that whole experience around being fearful. And a big part of that is that the system, that male-dominated system, gives them, it helps to bolster them so that when they feel, you know, afraid, they can go into whatever they, and the system supports that. We don't have that. We don't have that kind of system when we're afraid. We're not supposed to cry. We're not supposed to,
Get
you know, get
defensive.
emotional, get defensive, or turn bitchy. Hello. But those are the things that we do in order to support us. But the system doesn't support that. So we find ourselves out there in the middle of the ocean, kind of swimming without an oar.
Yeah.
If you like that analogy, because I kind of.
I did. I think that's great. My 2 cents is it's probably never been harder for men, and they don't like it. So I think you're seeing the backlash of that in this country now, which I think is very, very, very interesting and very interesting to watch. What I always liked about the men at Barstool versus the women was that when we had a bunch of guys, they could fight, and they were not, there wasn't scarcity. So they could do all their own individual things. They could come together. They could go back and do individual things. They could scream at one another, fight with one another, and be fine 2 minutes later. And when I looked at the women, nobody wanted to share their spotlight because they had to fight for that spotlight. It's the whole scarcity piece. They had to fight for that spotlight so much more that it was like, this is precious and finite. Don't fuck with it, right? Like, this is mine. And I think that's one of the things I think that's hard for women is if you look at working moms versus stay-at-home moms, there's a huge divide between working moms and stay-at-home moms. Stay-at-home moms judge working moms judge stay-at-home moms. We're like fractioning ourselves by virtue of the fact that we have different jobs. And I think that's really unfortunate.
And you know, it's interesting, Erika, I'm so happy you brought that up, because I've been teaching women's leadership classes for probably about 25 years now. And this was early women's leadership experience. And one of the big things that I said, I can actually remember teaching this class at Nike. One of the biggest things that I talked about is how to support each other, because guess what? I'm working, and you know this, and she knows because she was a byproduct of it. I'm working like 40, 50, 60 hours. I mean, I used to finish at Nike and go over to the Trailblazers and do another 5 hours.
100%.
so it's interesting. I needed those those stay-at-home moms to be available, to be a part
To
of my
help you raise your kid.
help me raise my kids
Yeah.
without guilt, because there's
Yeah.
always a lot of guilt because I'm raising a business, but I also have kids. But I think I did a fairly good job here. I think. I mean, she looks kind of
She's
cute.
pretty amazing. I
Got a
would
nice
say high
sweater on.
marks.
But,
I know how to dress.
she knows to dress. But the opposite is true. So the other is true, is that the women who are at home need our expertise and our ideas and the things that we see
Yeah.
in business, so
Yeah.
that they can relate to that person that they are with, because sometimes it's not always a man. They can relate to that person that goes out every day into the corporate environment.
Yeah.
So here you are. So, we have skill sets that we can share. We should be on the same team.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I think I'm so bullish on women in general and the future at large. And I think, part of the reason I think it's important for you two to be doing what you do and what I'm doing is it's really important for women to just see it. Like, you should see other women struggle. You should see other women fail. You should see other women succeed. You should see other women in their mess. And it's all a mess. Like, that's the glory of life. It's so messy. And I think the less perfect and put together we make it all seem, and that it can still look good but be hard, and it can still be inspiring but be a little messy. And I think the more we can do that, the better off we are.
It's just because we're talking about it right now. So how do we live it? There's this thing, like you're saying, there's such a divide between women. We talk about it so frequently, yet we're still doing that thing where we're pigeonholing, like, no, I'm doing it really great, she's not doing it great. There's that like need to like tear other women down. So I feel like throughout, one, the election that just came up, and two, I just check myself frequently. How can I be speaking on women at any level in a more positive way? So like one thing I did with the election is I just told my friends, I'm like, we're not going to talk negatively about her. I don't care what you think politic wise, just don't say negative things about women. Let's just try not to do that. Or like even something personal just happened in my life right now where I have a friend that's going through a hard time in their relationship. And, I'm a girl's girl, so I want to say positive things about the woman in the scenario, but she did something that I think isn't good. So I'm going to say, I can see that you're grieving. I acknowledge that. And that is fine and fair. You should grieve. But I don't like this part of it. Like, I can be honest in both ways. I don't think that's for women. That's just being like, I see you. I see that you're hurt. I know that is hard, but you don't need to have your grief take down other people. Like, that's just not fair. I think your strength comes from having self-control. You can be authentic. You can advocate for yourself, but then there is a piece of self-control that ensures that you're not taking other people down in the process.
Self-awareness.
Maybe
awareness, because control is that women have enough of control in our lives. And being controlled by others is something that we have taken on for ad nauseum. I mean, when you go back in history, you see a lot of this stuff. I mean, it's been going on for a long time. So if you think about how we are evolving as women, we think, oh, we've been doing this, like certainly for me, 25 years of doing this. Are you kidding me? Are we still talking about, whatever it is? But if you look at history, oh my goodness. We have been the bad guys forever. I mean, this whole thing about Wicked, why did the woman have to be bad? She had superpowers.
But that's it. That's always our story. How do we break this? How do we break this mold?
I think everything is a choice, and I agree with you that you have to choose how you show up. Like, one of the things I'll give you, just a little bit unrelated but kind of related, is being regulated. I'm spending a lot of time on thinking about being regulated, just in terms of like even keel emotion. And one of the funny things here is how unregulated people are at work. how they feel about something overpowers everything else. So if the leader is feeling insecure, or the leader is feeling angry, or the leader is feeling stressed, or the leader is feeling frustrated, it's the frustration and the anger and the insecurity and the emotion that's coming first, and the job to be done is coming second. And I actually think that on the whole, people are becoming more dysregulated in a way. I don't have any science for that, but I think part of it's social media. I think part of it is just, parents, and I'm guilty of this. We just spoil the shit out of our kids, and you let them lose all their time on their screens. But I do think that just being even, and also not believing that people are one thing or the other, like your friend, like, she's a great person and a terrible person, and aren't we all? It's a journey, and I don't know. I just think kind of approaching it a little bit more pragmatically is important, and then being productive. Like that's my thing. Is like, how can we be productive?
How can we be productive? How can we give to society something?
That's
better?
right.
Something better.
I don't know. I just feel like I need to say this because it's all I can think. It's just sometimes I feel like because of how society and social media and being on the tablets and watching all the things, sometimes we just need to tell each other, this is not Real Housewives.
Oh, 100%.
This is real life. Like, can we focus 100%. On the important thing here?
It's not Real
Housewives. And I love Real Housewives, but I do have the self-regulation to realize, like, I'm not living my life on Bravo. Let's tone it down just a little bit. Let's think about it.
Let's tone down the I agree.
Not everything needs to be a major announcement. Not everything needs to be like walk in the room and I have a storyline. Like, even though it's fun,
it makes good TV. Makes good streaming. It just does. Well, I know that I'm gonna at the end of these questions that I'm about to ask you, going to go back and introduce you, because just as we always do, Erika, we jumped into the conversation.
Yes, I imagine that a lot.
We do an intro, and I totally forgot all about that because I get excited when I'm with you. But I have been doing this with a couple of other people we've interviewed, especially if the energy is really good. I've asked them, I'm going to ask you some kind of random questions, and you just go with it. I go with threes because everyone who knows me knows that I go with the three thing.
I'm a three thing. Yep.
You're a three thing? Great. So here we go. The first thing I do when I jump out of bed.
Ooh, okay. I'm in the middle of changing this. I love coffee. I cannot have a cup of coffee fast enough. So that's number one, but I'm trying to hold off. I'm trying to hydrate first. It's not going well. The second is I just need to like bury my face in an animal. Like I have cats and dogs. I think it's good to like give love to an animal. Yeah. And then the third is I like get to the bathroom and put oil all over my face.
Oh, wow.
So hydration, kitties, dogs, fluff,
caffeine,
and oils.
Yeah, caffeine.
And caffeine.
Oil has something to do with her. And the next question is, what really is fun? What is fun?
To me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I think helping other people is fun. I think watching people discover things about themselves is fun. I think learning is fun.
Yeah, me too. I really, really do. And this one I kind of switched and changed a little bit because you brought it up. You said there's something great about everyone. So I want to know, what's great about you?
Oh, gosh. What's great about me? I think I'm just really curious. I would like to learn everything.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And I think you have a really big smile too. And she laughs. She doesn't laugh, ha ha ha, but she's always laughing. I mean, the bottom line
is, mouth is always open.
Yeah, your face is always showing this like emotion of like, isn't life great? Isn't life fun? Are we having fun yet?
So lucky.
We have some fun. Those are the things that I saw about you, which is why I wanted to ask you those questions to see what your perspective is. But mostly, I wanted to, as a sister in life of evolving and bringing this fullness to it, I just wanted to feedback that you are a fun being. You are a fun being. And fun is a level of love, and it's the way that you love. Just watching you, I saw a post of you walking down the street, and you're just marching down the street in Erica kind of way, just marching down the street. But there was this big, huge aura of like, I'm marching, but I'm having fun. Let's get there, having fun. So that's one thing. And the other thing is, I do believe that you trust yourself to just be whatever you are. And that's a very unique quality. And I appreciate that in you and have gratitude that you bring that to the table. So we want to recommend that people read the book. I love it. The whole idea of nobody cares about your career. Nobody cares about your career. What is wrong with you? But there's a lot of good of what we're talking about right here is in there. And I just hope that the Substack thing works out 2 days. I'm sure it's going to be fine. But I also want to invite that we connect again in some way.
I have an idea. I'm going to follow up with you.
Yeah. I do want to give you just a moment to shout out anything else that you want people to know. Follow you, how to find the Substack, all those kind of things.
Oh, okay. So you can follow me at Erika on Instagram. It's just Erika. And you can follow me at Erika Ayers Badan everywhere else. So like LinkedIn or Substack. I think I'm Erika _ on TikTok. And you can find me.
Yeah, she's out there.
Thank you both.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm going to hang up.
Well, that was fun, wasn't it?
That was great. Her energy is, we're through the computer. It's unmatched. You can feel the vibes, the fun, the joy.
You can.
Powerhouse woman. So much fun.
Just kind of like us. But the bottom line is this. You got to stay with us. We are evolving Women Express to a degree that we have decided to really make this the platform that you go to transform your life. If you're not caring about a leadership, that's fine, because we are experiencing and changing this whole platform into leadership experience. So perhaps you're just looking to experience yourself, to take your experience of yourself and transform yourself and others. This is the place to be. We don't want you to miss out on any of not only the podcasts, but sips and tips that we do, and any of the big summits that we're planning to have. So stay with us. Always bring 2-3 friends, because community is the most important thing for building power, resilience, and having a wonderful experience. Nia's going to tell you more.
Yes. So what we're doing for you for a full experience, you can ride with us on the podcast here. You can follow us on Instagram, women_express_, where you can just follow along if you don't want to listen to the podcast. If you want to dive in deep and get some real transformational experience, you can do that in 2 ways. 1, join our We Lead Women Leadership Experience series. That can be found through our Instagram page in the link in our bio. You can also have one-on-one coaching. If you don't want to do a huge group, you can connect directly with Denise on speakingwithimpact.com to get some women's leadership coaching, just one-on-one. Or with me too. I'm also a coach.
It's fun.
The third way is we have a community that we're building through our Sips and Tips series. So join us monthly for fun women's leadership topics to talk about your experience. Thank you again for joining us on this podcast episode. Up next, we're having some great guests in 2025, and we can't wait to see you there.